You and your daughter both published books around the same time. Whose has sold better? So is it a competition at your house on sales?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. I'm so excited for this newest episode of The Rise of Kid Authors. My name is April Cox. If you don't know me, I am the founder of Little Labradoodle Publishing and also creator of Self-Publishing Made Simple. And today I have the pleasure of interviewing Annabelle Wallick. Let me tell you a little bit about this amazing child author. Annabelle has been inspired to turn her drawings and her writing into books, and she has done that and published her own book with her mom. And we're going to hear all about that today. Annabelle loves all things ice cream, rainbows, glitter, and unicorns. She lives in South Florida with her parents, 2 younger siblings, dogs, and 2 cats. Annabelle, thank you so much for joining us today. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So happy to have you. I want to hear about how this book came to be. Tell me how you got this idea.
So one day I was feeling really mad, so I went up to my room to draw out my feelings. And when I came out, I wanted to talk about it with my parents. And I told them that my feelings were hurricanes, so that inspired me to write a book about it and help other children.
Krystal, you're a mental health counselor. Is this something that you encourage her to do, to draw their feelings? Is that a method that you've used with her?
Yes, absolutely. And we had done this before, but it's been difficult when you're in the middle of a meltdown. And we were virtual schooling at the time. So it was everybody all together in each other's space all the time. And we both kind of needed a break. And I said, why don't you go draw out those feelings? And she said, yeah, I'm going to. And it just turned into this beautiful story.
Annabelle, have you always loved reading and writing, or is this relatively new for you?
I've always loved it.
Krystal, tell us a little bit about you and your author journey so that others who are watching have a little bit of information about how, you're a family of authors and creatives that are working together to make these amazing stories.
Yeah. So like you said, I'm a mental health counselor. My husband is also a mental health therapist. So lots of feelings going on in this family. And we all love journaling. Just from a mental health perspective, we like to journal. I like to journal. And I've always loved to write as well. So in the summer of 2020, I had my 3rd baby, and he ended up in the NICU. And I wasn't allowed to touch him or hold him or nothing. I just had to be there. And so it came very natural to me to start journaling. And I turned those stories, and I was just kind of pretending that he was in another place and having fun somewhere and on some adventures rather than being in the hospital. And so I was doing that in the hospital, but then I'd come home and there were other children having feelings too. And so we turned this into publishing. And then Annabelle started saying, well, I'm having all these feelings too. And I experienced my brother being in the hospital, and I want to write a book too. So it all kind of came together. We had this experience with my son, her brother, and we all experienced it from different lenses. And we all kind of came together as a family and publish these books to help others going through this hard stuff. And, we had a baby, he was in the NICU, she was virtual schooling, and I had lost my job. There was so much going on.
So Krystal, what made you decide to take that step and actually publish the book? You've got both of you talking about all of these different things, the feelings, you're journaling, you're putting these things together. What made you take the step and say, you know what, I'm going to publish this to help others?
With my Ari books, I realized how much it helped me, and I wanted to help others. With her book, she came to me first with a drawing, and then we said, okay, well, now let's turn this drawing into writing. I mean, she was in 1st grade at the time. So, it was
in kindergarten.
Were you in kindergarten?
I was at the end of kindergarten.
End of kindergarten.
Almost 1st grade.
So end of kindergarten, beginning of 1st grade. And it started as a drawing. And then, I told her, turn that into writing now. It was a really good idea. And, for me, I've always encouraged her to write, but to publish is a whole different story. I mean, you're talking about spending thousands of dollars on a fun project. But with this, I was like, no, this is a really good idea. Like, it's not just like a fun kid story. It's a really good story. And I felt like it was really worth publishing and worth putting out there and helping other kids who are having these feelings. And as adults, we write about what we think kids want to hear about. We write about what our perception of what they're going through. Especially as a mental health counselor, I work in schools. I talk to kids all day long about their feelings. So I feel like I get it, but this was like straight from the source. And it was just such a good representation of how other kids her age are feeling that I just felt like it had to get out there. It had to be available for other kids, because if this is how she's feeling, other kids have to be feeling this too.
So Annabelle, tell us more about, what did you hope to accomplish? What were you hoping would happen when you published the book?
I was hoping that it would actually get out there and help other children so that they would know how to hold it together, how to feel better, and also to feel that they're not alone.
Oh, I love that. It amazes me how at such a young age, Annabelle, you have just love and caring for others and wanting to help others. It makes my heart happy. So tell me about what your favorite part of publishing the book was.
I liked writing about it and then seeing it, my words turn into pictures, and then the pictures and words turning into a whole book.
That's right. That's an amazing process to see the illustrations unfold. Krystal, how was it for you? What were you hoping to accomplish with this project?
I think very similar to her. When she was having these difficult feelings with everything that was going on, this was like the height of COVID, and everybody was isolated and you felt so alone. And there was one point that she said to me, "Why am I the only kid that can't seem to get it together?" And I was like, "No, girl, nobody's got it together. Like, I promise you, everybody's struggling, but you didn't see it because you were isolated." And so for me, I was like, no, you're not the only one. Again, if you feel that, I bet other kids feel that too. So let's get this out there so that everybody knows that they're not alone, and none of us have it together, even the adults.
Yes, I agree 100%. Annabelle, what was the hardest part, do you think, of your publishing journey?
Trying to get my imagination and what I was feeling into words so that I could tell my illustrator how to change illustrations a little bit and get them.
How old were you when you published the book?
7.
7 years old.
Still 7.
So you and your daughter both published books around the same time. Whose has sold better? So is it a competition at your house on sales?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What was the most challenging thing for you, Krystal, as you were working through this process with your daughter?
It was hard to times that I wanted to be a mom, but other times that I was being a publisher. And, saying that, we're putting this out to the world. We're not just printing this for ourselves. We're putting this out to the world. So there were some choices that I had to make that I felt like were good publishing decisions, but were maybe not exactly what she wanted. And so then just trying to balance that this is her book and I want it to be authentically hers and all about her and everything that she wants. But I also, we're putting it out into the world. So where are those places that you can compromise, that we can compromise if it is better for the book? And I had to do the same thing, I met with you as a coach. I met with editors. I have, the illustrator, the designer, we have a whole team, and we used that same team for this book. And there were times that people told me writing the Ari book, I think this would be better here. Or I think that this illustration would look better if we changed this word in the manuscript so that it would work better together. And there were things that we had to change. So that same thing of as a mom wanting to protect you and give you everything you want, but then as a publisher knowing that maybe this move was better was hard to balance and having to explain that. And we had contracts and everything. She signed the illustrator contract. I said this is yours. You have the ownership of it, but I'm the publisher.
Well, Annabelle, how was that for you working with Mom?
It was like really cool. I loved it.
Will you read the book for us? We would love to hear you read it out loud in your own words.
So My Feelings Are a Hurricane, written by Annabelle Wallick, illustrated by Martina. I can't pronounce her last name.
Her last name is tough. Straniero.
My feelings are a hurricane, but how can that be? Feelings are not weather. Feelings are part of me. Can you hold it so that they can see the pictures? Sometimes I feel sad, like when I do not succeed in school or when I'm at the playground and someone's being cruel. Sometimes I feel angry, like when my parents tell me no, or when I'm so busy that I can't get in a flow. Sometimes I feel afraid, like when I have to get a shot, or when I try something new, my stomach's in a knot. Sometimes all of those feelings happen at the same time. They begin to swirl together. They crash and collide. Hurricanes occur when warm and cold air rise and spin. That's exactly what it feels like deep inside my skin.
Wow.
The sad, the angry, and the scared fight to be on top. There's a battle going on, and I wish it would just stop. As my feelings swirl, the hurricane gets much bigger. I start to lose control of all of its might and vigor. And suddenly the spinning gets me out of control. My feelings are a hurricane that's taken its toll. Just when I feel like there's no way to chill out, my brain reminds me that I've got this, no doubt.
Beautiful. Love it.
Deep breath can slow down the spinning and swirling. It slows down my heart and helps manage the whirling. But how can I breathe when I'm angry and sad? I turn it into a game to get rid of the mad. Favorite part about it is you can see like the bunny.
Yeah.
And the bunny pushing.
Nice.
When you showed me this illustration, I almost fell out of my chair laughing. A kitchen sink breath is my favorite one. I hold my arms out and I twist the knobs on the sink. I breathe in deeply through my nose while I twist my wrist. Then I exhale the flow as I open my fist.
So this was a big part for her, was wanting to put in like specific things that she does. One of the breathing games that she likes is a kitchen sink breath. So you put your hands out and you turn the knobs and breathe in, and then you let the water flow.
I love it. Not only is it a great story, but it gives some practical things that kids can do to help themselves calm down. I love that, Annabelle.
Pretzel breaths are also very relaxing to do. I twist my arms tightly through my nose. I inhale too. I squeeze my arms like I'm grabbing the hurricane. When I exhale, I let them loose to calm down my brain. And also the
Bunny's giving the directions.
Nice. So how do you do that exercise? Can you show us?
So you put your arms out with your fingers open, then you cross them, and then you like kind of turn them, and then you hold them, and then like you're holding somebody's hand, and then you breathe in and then when you exhale, you let your arms out.
I love the way that you said it on that page. You talked about like you're hugging the hurricane and then you're bringing it in. I love that visualization, kind of feeling like you're grabbing those emotions and you're able to take them in and then let them out. Beautiful. Well done. I love that.
Deep breathing like this sends a signal up to my mind. It tells my body that everything can unwind. Then I start to feel the hurricane falling apart. The happy creeps into my body and into my heart. Together, my heart and my mind know just what to do. They get my body in control from head to shoe. Then once my hurricane has totally disappeared, I can use my coping skills and I'll stop feeling weird. I have lots of coping skills that help me to keep me calm. I like things like reading, drawing, or talking to mom. Or I talk to grandma, dad, or to one of my friends. I play with a fidget toy that squishes and bends.
So then we have
Ari the Brave that I'm reading.
Yes, she's reading Ari the Brave.
Oh, I love that little Easter egg in there. That's cool.
Do you ever think that your feelings are swirling too? And that there's a hurricane lurking inside you? Well, you're not alone. You know, sometimes I feel it too. Take a deep breath and very soon you'll feel brand new.
There you go.
You know what I love? I love that when you get to that page at the end, all the darkness and the heaviness of like the clouds kind of like lifts in that last image. I love it. It has just got everything that I need to read to my kids and my grandkids. Now that I've seen you do the breathing, now I can even be better walking through it. So thank you for doing that for us.
You're welcome.
What's next for you two? Are you working on a number 2 book soon?
I am.
You are? Tell me about it. What kind of sneak peeks can we learn about it?
I'm writing a book called The Ninja That Didn't Fit In. It's about a ninja. She's the only girl in her group. She's wearing blonde braids, a blue dress with a hot pink polka dots and a little pink bow. And she's very loud and she's not sneaky at all. And she's good at gymnastics. With her bright color, she can do like all that gymnastics and flips around the place and everybody notices her. So the other ninjas, they're like mad at her, but like kind of like, okay, just get back here. So hide behind like a little wall and then jump out like this. Boom. So one of the ninjas says that, and then the other ninja says, now you try. I didn't write about this part yet, but then she tries to do it. But she does a back handspring onto the person that she's doing it, and she lands on their shoulders and they fall.
I can already see these ideas flowing out of her. Some people would think, or might think, gee, kids can't come up with these ideas on their own. Listen to her. She is just a wealth of information and creativity and ideas. I am just so excited to see all of this stuff come to fruition. And I can't wait to click that buy button when that new book is out too, because that's amazing. I love that idea.
And this one, my mom didn't even have to give me ideas. I just started writing because Halloween, we were ninjas.
So that's what started it. That's amazing to see how that comes together. I love it. Annabelle, do you have anything you'd like to say to other kids out there or parents that have a child who loves to read and write? What would you tell them, or how would you encourage them to move forward and help make their own dream come true?
If you want to become an author, read more books so that you get more ideas, but don't copy ideas.
What if they're afraid and they're feeling like, you know, maybe their story's not good enough? Have you ever felt that way?
No. If whoever's thinking about that, I would just go like, don't think about that.
Krystal, any words of advice for parents that have these amazing creative kids like yours?
Yeah, I think that if you can make it happen, because I did everything so traditionally. Like I got straight A's in high school. I went to college. I went to grad school. I got married. I had babies. And I always wanted to write. I was always a writer. And I always thought that would be super cool, but would never actually do it. And you're getting the whole play here too. But my husband was always telling me like, write a book. Why aren't you writing anymore? You know, and I would always be like, oh, you know, I have a family, like we have kids and my dreams are on hold now. And then after, you know, we worked on this together, it made me realize, don't model to your kids putting your dreams on hold. And so show them that they can be an author at 7 years old and that you can do it, and don't wait for the right time. Don't wait until, you know, you're in your 30s and realize
there's no right time.
There's no right time.
No right time. I'm 7.
You're
I'm
7.
almost 8.
Yeah. So, you know, don't wait. If they have this dream and you can make it happen, and as you can see, the confidence is shining, and that's like exactly what we want from our kids. We want them to be confident. We want them to know to go after their dreams. We want them to know that they can accomplish their dreams and not be scared of that, because that's what I was. I was like, I can't do that. I can't. She's not going to struggle with that.
Annabelle, I was going to ask you if you're going to plan to use the same illustrator you had for your next book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love my illustrator.
I love your illustrator.
I would tell my mom what I wanted, and then she would, like, if it didn't make sense or she didn't think that Martina would understand it, she would say what she thinks that I mean. And then I would, like, be like, yeah, like that. Or, like, I would be like, no, not quite like that, like da-da.
Are you going to do any school visits where you go in and read to other classes?
I want to.
That would be so cool.
We did 2 events, and the first one I read my book, and we were doing like Are the Brave crafts. And then the second one, it was like a sales thing, and my mom was selling her books. And great news, she said that I sold out of books.
I was not prepared how much her books were going to fly off the shelves. Again, one of the reasons why I was like, yeah, we have to do this, because every parent that walked by was either, oh yeah, my kid needs this, or, you know,
the
it was.
Kids were crying because, like, a lot of parents did, like, you can get one thing. And then when they saw our thing, they were like crying that, like, put this back, I want to get that instead.
Even adults were like, oh, my feelings get like a hurricane sometimes. So it's just very, very relatable. And we put together with it a coping kit. So those coping skills that are in the back of the book, we have a drawing book that goes along with it. We have a fidget popper, because that's one of the skills. And then we have these talking cards. Talking is really important, but a lot of times kids don't know what to say or even how to start a conversation about their feelings. So we have these talking cards that has a little poem in the back that says, I want to talk to you, but I don't know how to start this conversation. So I'm going to give you this card instead, as a way for the adult to read it and say, okay, let me be the one to start the conversation with you.
This was just an amazing opportunity for me to be a part of bringing this amazing child author to the world. I hope that you're going to come back and talk to me again when the next book comes out. How's that sound?
Good.
All right. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day.